I respect chiropractors for the same reason I respect bottle service, horoscope, and the world's economy. I simply admire a good scam. Okay, that's enough. I didn't mean to start firing shots at chiros right away. I do have my own opinions and reasons to be skeptical, which I will happily share with you in this video. When it comes to back pain, I actually think chiros can be useful for some people for back pain, but probably not for the reasons that you think. In this video, I will share my opinion, my experiences, the pros and cons, and what I recommend, nothing more than that. This is not medical advice. I'm not your doctor. If someone with more authority in the medical sphere recommends you go and take like a chiropractor session, probably listen to them. I will just tell you what happened when I went to the chiropractor. Before we get started, I have a free book on back pain. Definitely check it out because it's free and you will learn a lot on all the things I tried, what worked, what didn't work, how to use like all of my experience and all of my mistakes into crafting a perfect blueprint for your back pain journey. It will be a very valuable resource in your healing process. Definitely check it out. The link to it is in the pinned comment or description. So, around year 3 of my back pain odyssey, a chiropractic alignment was recommended to me by a general practitioner, not my primary one, but another one that I kind of consulted on the side. Now, chiropractic always seemed like quackery to me, but I was already at the point where I was starting to get desperate. I was open to the idea of exploring like pretty much anything that would help me because keep in mind, like this is already 3 years of pretty much constant back pain, like all of the time. And I'm talking like really, really intense back pain. So I didn't even care. I was like, I'll try anything. Ever since I was a kid, I used to like crack my neck. I did that all of the time. Once I hurt my back, I also learned that I can crack my spine as well. That kind of provided me with some relief. So I figured like, hey, if the chiropractor like does the same thing, maybe there is some bonus if like a professional does it in a more like, I don't know, esoteric, magical way. So I scheduled a session with what was at the time like the highest rated chiropractor in my area. To be honest, like the guy seemed really kind of like professional. If you've seen some other videos of mine where I talk about the distinction between doctors and healers, like this guy was kind of sort of like a healer. He actually listened to what I was saying. He paid attention. He seemed like he cared. He wanted me to get better. I've heard like recommendations from other people also that he's like a, generally a good healer. He was a lot more engaged than all the doctors I visited pretty much. So I figured like maybe I'm in good hands. Of course, he asked if my injury was recent, in which case he probably wouldn't have gone through with the adjustment. I told him this happened like more than 3 years ago, and he was like okay to proceed. The sessions were quite expensive. I think he recommended 10 of them, maybe even 20. I'm not exactly sure, but it was like a number of sessions that, seemed kind of high to me. But yeah, anyway, I started with just one session. And you've probably seen like a lot of these shorts and reels and TikToks floating around of chiropractors like cracking people suddenly and adjusting them and magically like fixing them all of the sudden. And that wasn't the case for me exactly. The chiropractor was very experienced. I think he knew his trade very well. I'm just not sure if the trade worked on me at all. The cracks themselves kind of felt good. I've always liked doing that myself. Obviously, like they're gonna feel interesting, especially when the guy like cracks some joints that you probably haven't cracked before yourself. Of course, he did like the one foot is like shorter than the other. Let's see if we can fix it. And after the session, it's like, oh, it's almost the same now. I don't know. I don't think he actually used like very precise methods to measure that. But still, it was a good gimmick. I respected that. And to be honest, like I did feel a little bit differently after the session. The pain was still there. It was pretty much at the same exact level as before. But I kind of felt like maybe lightheaded is a good word, a little bit dizzy, like a little kind of like tingly in different like parts and areas of my body. My body was a little bit like kind of buzzing, but that's about it. Like the pain was still fully there. The chiropractor told me that the next day I should feel worse. That's to be expected. And he was right. The next day I did feel the pain in my back a lot more. And in fact, like my entire body kind of felt sore. He also told me I should start seeing some improvements after the second session. And after the second session, nothing happened. Like absolutely nothing. I didn't even feel like the head ringing or the buzzing or like the tingling in my body. I didn't even feel worse the next day. It was like exactly nothing had happened. Pretty much just the same thing that happens when I kind of crack my own joints. It's like you kind of feel an immediate relief slightly, and then it's like you're back to your regular daily activities. When the time came for the third session, I kind of wanted to already see some improvements. I wanted to see a direction of this thing. And again, nothing happened. Like exactly same as the second session. The pain in my back and in my sides was still there. It didn't get any better, it didn't get any worse, it was just the same. So after the third session, I decided to stop going. The sessions were a week apart, and I figured like, I've been to this thing like for 3 times. It's already been like 3 weeks. Usually like I would expect to see some reduction in back pain, and there was nothing happened. Honestly, it kind of felt like I'm just throwing money down the drain, and the sessions again were pretty expensive, and I wasn't really doing like financially well at the time, so I decided to cut it. Now, did I give it a fair shot? Well, honestly, I guess it is hard to say. I mean, the guy recommended like 20 or 10 sessions, and like who knows, maybe if I kept all of those appointments, if I kept going for 10 weeks, for 20 weeks, like maybe I would have seen some improvement. But honestly, I seriously doubt it. I think if something is gonna have some effects, you're probably gonna start noticing something after 3 sessions. Like maybe it's not enough, but for me, I think it's quite a good sample to get a taste for things, and I just think it didn't work for me. Now, people have mixed feelings about chiropractors, we all know this. Some people swear by them and they have appointments and alignments regularly. Other people, they think they're just a scam and nothing else, they're pure charlatans. Maybe you've seen some of my other videos where I talk about like the distinction between logic and magic, like how some people are more rational and more logical. They typically want to see more science and the approaches they're pursuing, and how other people are more kind of like woo-woo, they're more like hippy-dippy, kumbaya people, and it's actually the latter group that kind of tends to claim that they benefit from like for chiropractic alignments more. It's kind of like the magic people that kind of see all of the benefits, and all of the like engineers and programmers and even doctors, like they're like chiropractors, they're a scam. And me personally, I come from the logic camp. I am like a little bit of a recovering logic addict, because I actually became quite more open-minded, if I'm being honest, during my like journey of pain. This took years. This wasn't like a sudden process, it was a very gradual process. But I understood, like I realized that being open-minded to even solutions that maybe don't exactly sound like very rational to you, but even if some people claim they've worked for them, like they can probably be worth exploring. This is always like, you shouldn't really dismiss things that you haven't tried firsthand. And also there's like the whole placebo thing. I also talk a lot about this thing on my channel and in my book and in my other resources as well. If you can find a placebo that works for you, that heals you, like great, run with it. Who cares? Like in a lot of instances, it's even better than like actual medicine. You don't have chemicals and side effects and addictions, and in some instances placebos are even free. So like, why not just take advantage of that? But placebos, for them, if I want to recommend placebos to someone, I want them to work. And chiropractors, I think that's the main reason why some people benefit from chiropractors. They just believe it's going to work, and it works. That's pretty much what a placebo is. And that's why I don't really want to discourage a lot of people like, the chiros are a scam, like don't waste your money, don't waste your time. Like try a few sessions. Maybe they're gonna convince you in the scam, as people say. But if you believe it works, like do it. Get better, why not? But for me, it didn't work. maybe I was too skeptical, maybe I didn't believe enough. If I'm being fully honest with you, I just don't think it's actually a good practice. Like, I think there's actually a lot better ways to heal, even like intentfully and consciously working on your mindset, which, you know, some people may say borders and or it's very close to placebo. Like, even there's much better techniques to apply and use those. Like, even that's like a much better avenue to pursue. Chiropractors, I personally don't actually recommend them unless you're like fully like gung ho about them. You believe like that's the thing that's helping you, that's the thing that heals you. I do have like also one more problem with them, and that's the fact that you kind of have to keep going to adjustments. So you're like always stuck in like in like this addiction of adjustments. Let's just say, like for me, 20 sessions sounded ridiculous. Like, even if I did see some improvements after some sessions, like, I don't want to live my life knowing that I have to be at the chiropractic alignment at a certain time of the month or the year. Like, that's not a cure for me. That's not a solution for me. It's just another band-aid fix that you just slap on the injury. And, you know, so even like in the best case scenario, I don't think chiropractors actually ever tell you like you're healed, like get out of here, I don't want to ever see you, like, you know, your back is healed now, go and live your life. So for me, that's actually probably the biggest deal breaker, and why I maybe have a hard time believing that this is something that actually works. But yeah, again, I'm not gonna discourage you if you have your mind set on chiropractors. Whatever happens, like I would love to hear about that actually. Like, let me know your experience. I'm curious, what's your experience with chiropractic? It did nothing for me. Maybe it's gonna work for you. And I've also noticed like it seems to be like some sort of a rising trend for even for doctors, like typical Western medicine doctors, to recommend chiropractic alignments for back pain, for chronic problems. So maybe even your doctor is gonna recommend this. If that's the case, like maybe try it. Go for it. Like maybe you will see some benefits. But when nothing happens after your chiropractic alignments, which I'm pretty sure that's gonna be the case, check out the free book. Again, like I talk about the stuff that actually works, and also a relevant video about the things that actually work should appear somewhere above me right about now. Besides the free book, I have a lot of other resources. A lot of them are free. My app has a free tier. Definitely check it out. I think it's gonna be a massive resource in helping you heal your back pain. You can also take my survey, which is at this point, I believe, like probably more than 60 questions. And depending on your answers, it's gonna craft a strategy that's like perfectly suited for your lifestyle, for your context, for your injury. You're gonna get like a plan that's pretty much bulletproof. I cannot say 100% bulletproof, but you're gonna receive a plan that has a really high chance of delivering results for you. Honestly, if you wanna heal the fastest and with the least amount of pain, I would recommend my course, The Back Pain Blueprint. Definitely check that out. I think if you're serious about getting rid of back pain as quickly as possible, that's the way to go. If you want me in your corner, guiding you and helping you out and sharing my experience like weekly or daily or whatever we agree upon, and there's a link in the description or pinned comment where you can schedule a free consultation call with me. My name is Mate from Real Deal Heal. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell thingy, because if you're in pain, you're gonna wanna watch my videos. I think you're gonna find them very valuable. If you know someone else struggling with back pain, share these videos, share this channel. You're gonna help them out a lot as well. If you have comments or questions, let me know in the comment section. Also, let me know if you have experience with chiropractors. I would love to hear about that. And if you wanna keep binging my videos for whatever reason, a relevant, interesting video should appear above me right about now. I will see you in that video. Until next time, be brave.